officially recording. Wonderful. Okay. So just to go over our center, it looks like a lot of your names look very familiar. We've worked with a majority of you, but in the case that you're not aware of what our center offers, we have services available to undergrad students, graduate students, and alumnus. So regardless of where you are in your journey, we are here for you. So we assist you with career readiness and skill development, and also academic requirements. So for career readiness and skill development, we have resume review, interview skills and practice, job search, networking, personal branding. We also have the College of Hospitality Mentor Program, which has gone through quite a change, but we think you guys are going to be very excited to see what we have coming for you. So just keep an eye on your emails. We also have workshops, special programs, and recruiting visits. And then for academic requirements, we have work experience and internships in HMD 455 for undergrads only. And for any students that are international, we do all of the CPT, OPT processing. So that last page, the academic advisor page, you'll be coming to us for that. And with all of those things, we are taking care of everything via email, and we'll have our contact information at the end of the presentation. All right, and then what you guys are here for, we're going to be talking about Handshake. So we're super excited to have Handshake on board for this upcoming academic year. Everybody should have received an email saying that they are in the system. So just to go over what this is, if anybody's not familiar with Handshake, so it's a valued online employment portal in higher ed. So there are thousands of schools that use this system already. And it has opportunities for more than 500,000 companies, and that grows every day. So just know that you have a lot of job opportunities, internship opportunities, and even the ability to connect right at your fingertips with this system. So our center is established within Handshake, where we're going to continue to provide personalized programs for students and alum, and to serve as a liaison between employer partners and our college. So as a hospitality student, your account is automatically linked up with our center, and the jobs and employers you define as interesting to you. So for current students, you'll be able to log in with your ACE account. For any alum, you will need to register on your own. So just be aware of that. All right, and without further ado, we have a special guest today. His name is Jeff Buchwald. He's the Associate Director of Data Assessment and Planning for Central Career Services. Without Jeff, we wouldn't be here today presenting Handshake. He's been instrumental in the implementation of the system and making sure it was launched on time for everybody to use. So, all right, Jeff, whenever you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. I hope she didn't oversell me to the crowd here today, but I appreciate it. Yeah, like Ashley said, my name is Jeff Buchwald. I've been working with UNLV since late February, early March. So I came in right as UNLV was shutting down. As Maggie likes to joke, I've been working for UNLV from home longer than I've been working for UNLV at UNLV, which is good for me because I live about as far away as humanly possible. So I'm fine not having that commute every morning. But enough about that. You are here for Handshake, so let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see what we are going to be dealing with. As Ashley said, for those of you who are current students, your information is going to be automatically uploaded into Handshake. For those of you who may be new students, if you're not in one of the initial loads, don't worry, be patient. We are going to start automatic loads about every week. Where your data will be eventually uploaded automatically, and any updates that you make to your record in the My UNLV system will be automatically uploaded into Handshake as well. So that's something that's coming. For the alumni, again, as Ashley said, that is not something that we are going to be uploading automatically. If you have an alumni, UNLV alumni email address, the @alumni.unlv.edu, you can request an account and you'll be automatically approved. If you don't have that email address, please jump on the UNLV website. The Philanthropy and Alumni Engagement division page has the information on how to register for that email address. For those of you using typical Gmail, Yahoo, whatever type email addresses as well, you can go ahead and request an account. It's just going to take us a little while to vet you to make sure that you are an actual alumni. But again, that's just a process that we have to go through, not something you have to worry about. So please feel free to start requesting those accounts. When you are first logged on to Handshake, this is the screen, the very first screen that you will see. It is asking if you want to make your profile information public, or public just to employers, or private. Now, this is completely up to you, however you want to do it. But remember, Handshake is not just like an Indeed or a Monster. Is Monster even a thing anymore? I don't even know. It's not like one of those typical job posting sites where it is you reach out to try to apply for a job and that's it. Handshake takes a social networking approach to the job search process. So you have the ability to make yourself open not only to employers, but also community, which are students and alumni that are on the system as well. And there's over a couple of million from the 21 or 2,200 schools that are on the system. If you did just want to make your information available to employers, like Ashley mentioned, there's over 500,000 on the system. That number goes up every day, but you would allow employers to contact you as well, or you can keep your information completely private, in which case you would be able to apply for jobs, but nobody would be able to contact you. Completely up to you, however you want to do it. For the sake of this demonstration, we are going to make it public. And again, the first time you log on, you will be asked a series of questions, not only about your job opportunities and what you're looking for, but also the types of things you're interested in, organizations that you've been a part of, and we're going to run through this right now. I've set up this dummy student, so I think I made the name Eddard Stark, so for Game of Thrones fans, you'll hopefully get that reference. So what were we looking for? Today we're going to be looking for, how about a part-time or a full-time job, sorry. And where would you like to work? We're going to say Las Vegas, Nevada, and my hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. I know that's a hell of a commute between those two cities, but why not for the sake of this? What industries are on your radar? So now this is a very general umbrella type term. The way that, that Handshake has listed the industries is a little granular, so you wouldn't be able to say hospitality because that's kind of big, but it does have hotels and accommodations. Or for those of you in food and beverage, there's a food and beverage and a restaurants and food service. But you're able to, you know, just start typing in keywords and things will pop up. And it also has a bunch of popular ones here. So we'll add sports and leisures onto there as well. Now, these are the qualities that you're looking for in an employer, and you can choose up to 5. So I'm going to say I want, how about a high performance that values feedback, that is a high growth company that supports, how about Native Americans and veterans in military? And the types of jobs that you're looking for. Now, these are job titles or job roles that you may be looking for. These are popular roles for the retail and hospitality or BS and hospitality management students. That's just, again, on this dummy student, whatever your individual major is, whatever's listed in the My UNLV system will be automatically uploaded here. So for this job, we're going to say, I'm going to be looking at hotel type jobs. So hotel manager, innkeeper, lodging manager. There are probably other job titles that we could be looking for as well, but just because those were the popular ones for my selected major, we're going to select those. And now this is your background. So it's going to be asking you a couple of things about skills that you're going to be bringing to the table at your next job. So we're going to say PowerPoint, data analysis, public speaking, and how about customer service. All right, so pretty simple so far, pretty straightforward. It's asking questions not just about the types of jobs you're looking for, but they're asking questions about you too, and what you value and what you are going to bring to the table. relevant courses that we've taken, hospitality law, how about development and planning, and yeah, quantitative analysis, and food and beverage. Why not? We'll throw that in there as well. Make the GPA visible to employers. This is completely up to you if you want to make your GPA public or private. Again, this is automatically uploaded from UNLV. I'm a little bit of a braggart, so I put that on the 399. We'll make it visible. Clubs and organizations, sure. I'm in Women in Business, Dance Marathon, and I'm volunteering. Why not? Again, you can customize this to your organizations as well. And where have I worked? I worked at McDonald's and I was a cashier supervisor. How about that? Perfect. And then if your company is listed, obviously these are the popular ones. If not, you can start typing it in. Let's say MGM, MGM Resorts. And what was your role? Hotel front desk clerk. So again, it has a lot of logic built in. It knows a lot of these job roles. It knows a lot of these job titles and companies right off the bat. And now it's going to start listing off some jobs that you may find interesting. Now, this is an important step because it is going to start looking at what job titles you find interesting. So that way, when you log in from here on out, it is going to know the types of jobs it should make relevant and prevalent as one of the first jobs that you see when you log in. So I'm not bilingual, so we'll say not interested. And entry-level recruiter, sure, we'll take that one. And then we'll just kind of flip through these as we're going through. Very quickly, data analysis, project intern, yeah, criminal investigator, and sure. And that's it. Those are the first steps that you'll see when you log in for the very first time. From here on out, this will be your home screen when you log into Handshake. Now, again, they tried to make this as intuitive as possible. They have tried to make this reflect a social media or a social networking site as much as possible. So this is going to be the easiest way for you to navigate the system is this homepage. You can always get back to the home page by clicking on this little Handshake logo up in the top left here. I will recommend that the first time you log in, before you start playing with the system, you should go in under your profile, which you can get to by clicking on your initials in the upper right-hand corner, and start building your profile out. You can see that I'm only 35% complete right here, so I should add a little bit about my journey. I'm not... Hope that's not a spoiler for anybody, but there we go. Education, my volunteer experience. So this is saying that, yes, I have my title in here, but I should really put more information about the job, the skills, and what I did when I was there. It's going to ask about, again, more details about my organizations and extracurriculars. Am I looking for a job? Sure, I'm actively looking on campus. Cities, and then you can always add more cities. You can take cities away. You can add more roles. Like, let's say I decided I wanted to get into agriculture. I wanted to become a cattle buyer. I can add that in as well. I can add or take away some of the industries while I'm here, save and update that. And now you're going to see here, it's going to discover more students. We're going to get into the community aspect or the networking aspect in just a little bit, but you can see right away, it's trying to get you to connect to other students or other alumni that may have had similar experiences or that may have had similar majors or jobs that you're interested in. So that way you can reach out and make that connection. Again, we're going to go over that later on in the presentation, but it's a really cool feature about that social networking aspect. So again, go in, fill out your profile, make it as complete as possible. I think just putting in a headshot is going to bring you up from 35 to like 80%. So that's a great piece to get the system going. And once you start getting that, once you start building your profile, you're going to have a lot more access and you're going to be able to see a lot more things. The job search and the job listings that it recommends is going to be a lot more relevant to your search. So the more you use the system, the better the system is going to treat you. But here we go, front page of Handshake. So whenever you want, you can click on any of these links, but we're going to scroll down a little bit just so you get a better idea what you're looking at. So it's going to say, give you some tips and tricks. It's going to say, follow employers that catch your attention. So it's going to recommend employers to you. We'll get to that in a minute. Save your favorite jobs as you explore. We're going to get to the job search right now and update your profile and interest, which we just went over a little bit. So it's giving you tips on how to make your profile a little more complete. And then as you keep going, it's going to say, these are popular jobs in your major, or popular job types, popular job titles that you can start looking at. You can see here, we've got this throughout the United States. We've got one in Holyoke, one in Austin, Texas, but a remote job, and one in New York City. And then based on my activity, based on some of the things that I've said that I'm interested in, it's giving me some employers that I can start following, because I said that I was interested in employers that had certain traits. Remember that question at the very beginning? Now I can start looking at these employers. And now it's going to say, hey, these are some jobs that are expiring soon. If you want to get in, if you want your application to be looked at, you got to apply pretty quick. And it's giving you the expiration date of all these jobs at the bottom. And then here are some of the other jobs that are available in sports and leisure, because I said I was interested in sports and leisure. So it's giving me these jobs right off the bat. Freedom, New Hampshire. Huh? Haven't even heard of that town. All right. But if you want the robust job search, all you have to do is click on jobs on the front page here. And it will give you all 4,500 jobs that have been posted from the 3,800 or so companies that have connected with UNLV so far. The number of jobs goes up between about 80 and 150 per day. Number of employers increases by about 40 or 50 a day as well. They're coming in all the time. We are able to approve them, and somebody will take a look at them, make sure that the jobs seem legitimate, make sure that that's something that people should be interested in. And then that information will get posted right into the system. It goes live right away. So it's pretty great. So if I'm just looking at the regular jobs, Live Nation, box office ticket attendant, that's the first one, because based on my interest, based on what I said I like, Handshake feels that this will be a good fit for me. Well, let's scroll down a little bit. We're going to go to, how about a hotel operations position in Hull. Hull's a beautiful city, by the way. If you ever go visit Boston and you need a place to stay, look at Hull, because it is gorgeous, right on the water, really well preserved, really well done city. Like, check it out. Trust me on this one. If you're not from the East Coast, it's a beautiful place to stay. So this is giving me a little bit of information about the role, the application deadline, when it was posted, that it's a seasonal position, so that's fine. Let's see, I'm going to go through a little bit. It's giving me some information about where these positions are located. And full description, oh, look at this. It's got benefits, it's got the schedule, and you can see here, I match what they're looking for. Now, Handshake is going to ask employers when they post a job if they're looking for certain class years, certain majors, certain GPA, if they have or require U.S. work authorization, and a couple other factors that they can put in there. Doesn't necessarily mean much as far as whether or not they're putting that criteria in there, because Handshake is never going to prevent you from applying for a job. Let's say you're a freshman, you're a hotel major, and you're just starting your journey in higher education, and you go through the system and you find a job that requires, let's say like a neurosurgeon. It requires a doctorate, it requires 10 years of experience, and it's posted on our site. Handshake is not going to prevent you from applying for that job. You may not get put at the top of the pile of their applicants, but certainly Handshake isn't going to be the one that stops you from applying. It's going to be up to the employer to determine whether or not you're going to make it to the next round, or however they work their human resources system. So just keep in mind that even if it dings you, even if there's a giant X here saying that you don't meet the GPA requirements, or that you don't meet the major that the employer is looking for, this apply button is not going to go away. You're still going to be able to apply through Handshake. If you scroll down a little bit further, you're going to get some information about the company itself. Maybe I'm not necessarily interested in this job, but I want to know more about this company. I can read this information here. And now I can see a little bit more about the company itself. I've got a review right up front. I can see the full profile of the company. We're going to get to all this in just a moment. If I scroll down a little bit further, it's going to give me some similar jobs as well, jobs that are looking for similar skills, similar roles at similar companies. Now, this is saying that the jobs are in Memphis. Obviously, that's far from the East Coast, but it's still giving me those types of jobs as well. And again, the more you fill out your profile, the more you play with it, the more relevant those jobs will be. Now, let's say I can see this application deadline isn't until December. Let's say this is a job that I really like, but I'm not quite ready to apply. Maybe I need to meet with Ashley, get my resume reviewed, and do a little bit more work before I apply for the job. By clicking this little flag right here, this little banner, I've now saved this job up in my saved job profile. So that way I don't have to go searching for this job when I am ready to apply. I can just come right into saved and it will show me that information right away. I can get right back into the job and apply without having to do too much legwork on my part. This is also going to give you your applications. Once you've filled out a job application, you've applied to that company, this will save that information. And this information is going to be visible to the career services team as well. So if you're not getting a job, if you're throwing out 100 applications and you haven't gotten a single interview, when you meet with a career services professional or you call them up and say what's going on, they're going to be able to take a look and say, well, you're not applying for the right kinds of positions, or maybe you're not applying to the right kinds of companies. So they're going to be able to help you and guide you find the right types of positions, the right types of companies, maybe the right location that should help you out in your job search. So having this available to your career services staff is invaluable because they can really help you narrow down and focus your energies on better positions. Let's scroll a little bit further here. We're going to go go another page forward. Let's say per diem licensed practical nurse. And let's see. No, it's still saying I'll get the right major for that. All right. I was trying to show you one that may not have the right qualifications for the job and what it looks like, but I promise you it just says you don't match what their preferred preferences or preferred candidate looks like, and it'll have an X next to the spot that isn't matching up with their criteria. But again, this application will still exist. Now you can see this one says apply externally. The last one we looked at said apply. There's no difference. All that means is that this company is telling you that your application, oh, it even shows it the right way here. All that means is that your application is either handled through Handshake directly, or the posting is in Handshake, but the application process is on another site. Really no difference in how you submit your materials, really no difference in your vision of how this goes. It just means that when you apply externally, you may be taken off the Handshake site and taken to another platform that the company is using. Do we have any questions about the job search process or anything that I've gone over so far?
I do have a question on behalf of Emma, Jeff, so go ahead and take a sip of water. Emma is one of our May grads, and she has set up her account with her ACE login credentials.
Okay.
Once she officially makes that transition in the university system from student status to alumni status, Emma would like to know if she needs to recreate her account or if everything will transfer over.
Nope, everything will transfer over and you will be flagged as alumni automatically. The only thing that might trip you up is the email address. Once you get your alumni email address, or if you're going to use a generic Gmail or Yahoo or whatever else, that's a change that you would want to make in your My UNLV system and get that updated, because again, that information will flow directly into Handshake. But no, you don't need to create a second account. You don't need to do anything separate. You'll be flipped from senior over to alumni or master's over to alumni as soon as your graduation is processed. We have that all coded on the back end. That gets done automatically for you. All right, any other questions about the job process? And then I'm going to move into employers next.
I don't see any other questions right now, Jeff.
All right. So again, You can do this from the job site, like on the bottom of those job postings, it said view full employer profile. And that's if you wanted to go directly to an employer that you knew. But if you just want to start looking at employers to see who is out there, to see what, to see the kinds of information that people are posting, if you go into the employers tab, you're going to see 535,000 plus employers on the system. And this number goes up all the time. So let's say you're looking for, I want to know everybody that is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Within not 50 miles, let's make it 30 miles. And I'm going to say, I only want employers with reviews. So I know that they have been not reviewed through Google or Glassdoor or any of those other sites. These are reviews by people in Handshake. This is Handshake only information. You're not going to get these reviews anywhere else. And let's say I only want the bigger companies. So I just narrowed this down from 535,000 down to 11. So I now have a much better idea as to what's out there. And let's see, I'm going to say, let's see what the city of Henderson has to say. We're going to jump, well, I clicked on the reviews, but you can jump right in and start seeing some of the information here. You can see that they have a number of students, 71 students who have already worked there. So I know that I have people to whom I can reach out if I have questions. You can see some of the contact information about the city of Henderson here. And then now we're going to get into the reviews. And now it's going to say, not just a review, you know, some people on like Yelp or whatever else may just go into ranting and raving. Handshake actually forces people to say, what did you like? What didn't you like? Or what did you wish was different? And what's some advice that you can give to some of the other people that are out there? Same thing here. What I liked, what I wish was different, some of the advice. And again, these are real people. These are students through Handshake that have worked there. But now I can see there's only 2 reviews, but I can see that there have been 71 people that have worked there. So maybe I want to take a look at this and start scrolling through and say, oh, this one went to Embry-Riddle. Well, maybe you know somebody that went to Embry-Riddle and you want to get some of their advice on how that worked. You can see, oh yeah, they worked for City of Henderson. Now they're at this consulting. Well, this one's residential staff. So you can kind of scroll through, see what's going on. And you say, all right, this guy, Ethan, head lifeguard. You know what? Maybe I want to be a lifeguard. Maybe I want to know what to do. You can click message. First time that you're going to message somebody through Handshake, it's going to ask you to agree to these guidelines, making sure that you're professional. But of course, we all know none of Maggie or Ashley's students would ever be unprofessional using a system like that. So this is just a formality. But now I know that, you know, I want to ask Ethan specifically about his professional experience about being a lifeguard. So if I click on this, Handshake's going to give me a pre-populated template about how I can reach out to this student and say, I'm a senior studying hospitality management and retail and hospitality administration at UNLV. Came across your profile and saw you had experience with blank, whatever I want to talk about. Thought you may be able to help me with blank. If you need to edit, you can say, well, maybe I want to take this part out because that's a little wordy. You can do that. Or if you'd rather write your own message, you can clear all that out and just start typing yourself and write a message. Or maybe I don't want to ask about the professional experience. Maybe I was interested because he went to, I forget what it said, Western Kentucky maybe. I want to say, oh, okay. I want to ask him about his experiences at his other university. Maybe I want to go there. I want to look at some other programs that they have, or maybe I want to see how maybe it's different than what UNLV does. So I get some information here and I can fill in the blanks with what I actually want to talk about. So again, great way to connect, great way for you to be able to reach out to these students. And again, these are all students who have said, make my information public, make my profile public so that other members of the community can reach out and contact me about certain aspects within Handshake. And you can see here that they already have templates for resume advice, for interview advice, reviews or questions and answers, or another career-related topic if you just want to reach out and make that connection. We're going to go back into the City of Las Vegas City of Henderson profile, excuse me. And now we can see under interviews, they actually have tips about the interview process with the city of Henderson. So you're going to be able to get that as well. Now, this student has decided to make their profile private. That is completely their call. But if they didn't have this profile private, you'd be able to reach out and talk to them and say, hey, I see that you went through the interview process at the city of Henderson. Can you give me some more information? But again, you can do that same search just like we were just at and reach out to one of those students and ask about the interview process there. So maybe we won't do City of Henderson. Maybe we'll do Las Vegas Valley Water District instead. Now we've got 4 reviews here. We've got we've got 17 students who have worked there, and we've got some highlights from the reviews. Now you can see here that we have a little more information, what they liked, what they wish was different, which was nothing, and some advice that they give. And now right from here, I can ask this student directly about their experiences with the Las Vegas Valley Water District. So, okay, Las Vegas Valley Water District, this is a company that I enjoy. This is one that I'm interested in working for. So I'm going to click follow. Now what this does, if you follow a company, every time they post a new job at UNLV, you're going to get a notification, whether it be email or a little number up next to your initials, or both. You can set it up however you want. That's easy enough if you just do that through your own settings. Every time they are coming to campus to do some kind of on-campus event, you'll get an email. Anytime there's an update about the company profile, you'll get an email. So this is a really thorough way for you to get information about the company. Maybe you want to be the first one to apply for a job when they finally post. And now, whenever you come back in, whenever you come back into the employers page, the very first one you're going to see are the employers that you follow. And then it'll be a little bit more information down here. Let's see what Coles has to say. 56 reviews, 55 interview tips, and some questions and answers that have come up. So again, a lot of great information that's available right away for you to start looking at when you're trying to narrow down your search and look at the different companies. Questions about that part of it? We're going to do a little bit more with the community in just a second, but if there are questions about the employer's process, please feel free to reach out.
I don't see any employer-related questions, Jeff.
All right. So we're going to do a little bit more with the community. You saw right away how I was able to look at community members who had worked at certain companies, because that automatically gets filtered down from the employers tab. But let's say I just want to pop into the community tab, which again is right on the front page here, this community tab. And I want to look at people that are from certain areas or that are from certain school years. I can start narrowing it down again. And you can see the number, it's got a count of just the students in the system. There's 1.1 million seniors, 700,000 juniors, 700,000 alums, et cetera.
And we have Emma right there on the screen.
Hey, Emma, I'm going to pick on you, Emma. Since you're here, since you've already created your account, we're going to pick on you a little bit. But we can see this information right away. She's done a great job filling out her profile. This is fantastic. But look, on the left-hand side, it's giving me even more students that may have similar degrees. So I can go in and start popping in and looking at other students that have gone to UNLV, or maybe, you know, I've got enough of a network at UNLV. Maybe I only want to reach out to other universities as well. You can start looking at, you know, UNLV only, or I can start looking at alumni, or I can start looking at people from other schools. So let's do alumni. And I know, Emma, you were asking about whether or not you need to create a new profile based on being alumni. Again, the answer is no. I just will tell you, it's going to take a little while for the system to flag you from senior to alumni. It takes a couple of months for that data to catch up. So I know that we're in July. Wouldn't surprise me if it takes until maybe early to middle of next month to get that information to change, but it will change. I promise you that. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. So you can see here, I can start looking at Penn State, UCF, Mizzou at Columbia, et cetera, and so on. So if I want to, if I know the people from UNLV, but I want to reach out and make other connections, I can start going through and looking at other students who have gone to other universities as well. So this is a great way for you to start reaching out, building your professional network with other students and other alumni that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. And you can scroll down and say, looking only at previous employers, you can say, I only want those that have done other student organizations that I've been in. So it'll give you that number right away. And then you can start, again, scrolling through. Really up to you how you want to use the system. But, when you're doing it, please make sure that you are, again, being professional, being courteous, and not using this information in some other form, not for what it was intended for. So pretty cool system, right? And again, they really built it to feel like a social networking site rather than just a job platform, because there's plenty of job platforms out there, but this is why Handshake is unique. And not only that, a lot of the jobs that you're going to see, they're posted by companies that are posting at other universities as well. So, this is a great way for us to really expand the network. If you were on the old system that we had, we've talked to people who have, used the previous system and then made the switch to Handshake. And we're being told that we can expect our job posting volume to increase 3 or 4-fold just because of the number of employers that are on this company. Like I said, I've only been working for UNLV since late February, early March. And I can't tell you how many times I personally, and I don't have contacts with employers, but how many times I got asked when we were making the move to Handshake. So I was very proud to be able to say that we were making the move this summer, and we were able to successfully do that. I've got about 10-15 minutes left. I'm going to go through 2 more things for you. First being this career paths area, and then the career center. The career paths is kind of a cool little tool that they have. And what this does is it takes your major, takes your interests, and says, all right, you've told me that, or you've told Handshake that you're interested in certain jobs. But here's a bunch of similar jobs that are being held by people that have your same degree or that have your same skills. So maybe you haven't quite thought about these yet. So you can start scrolling through and say, I'm a hospitality major, but maybe I haven't thought about human resources. Let me take a look at this and check this out. It's not only giving you some information about the position itself as far as the description goes, but it's giving you average salary for new grads. And this isn't, this is data that they pull from first destination surveys and other areas where they can mine these data and pull in an average salary for you. Giving you top cities for the role. It's giving you a bunch of the jobs maybe you missed at the beginning when you were going through your search that would be more in tune with this human resources job. Some other roles that you can get. Top majors interested in the role, and again, more of that community connection, people in this role. So you can start going through and saying, this person actually works in this job. I should reach out to them and say, what can you tell me about working, having a retail or hospitality administration degree and working in human resources? How did those skills translate? So maybe it's not HR is not for me. Let's go to, how about an auditor? So, oh yeah, look at that. Makes $56,000 a year starting, and that's again, average salary for new grads. Again, it gives you top cities for the role, more jobs, et cetera, and so on. So I say, okay, you know what? I'm not interested in HR. Maybe I'm interested in being an auditor. Let me click on that. So now it's giving you the types of job titles or job roles that you can expect to see when you're looking for these kinds of jobs. So let's do a couple of these here. Intern, I'm not ready to be in charge yet. Not certified. Let's do a couple more of these and we'll hit close. So now this is updating Handshake's algorithm on the back end that says the next time I log in, it's going to start showing me jobs that are more in line with auditors and the other information that I've put in. So it's going to start tweaking the search that I've done in the first place so that I get more relevant information up front. Again, really cool tool. This is fun to play around with. It's fun to see the types of jobs, types of salaries that are out there. Please feel free to play around and get in there and start looking at the different types of jobs. And again, these are all jobs that are filled by people on Handshake that have similar majors or similar interests and other information that is similar to your profile. So it's not just going to throw stuff out there that is nonsensical. Like you can see, I was just looking at special education teacher. This has chemists. But again, that means that there's somebody or a handful of people on Handshake that have similar interests to what I put in or similar majors. And again, I can come down here and say, oh, okay, they have similar interests that I put in my profile. So that's why these people in this role are coming up as suggested contacts. So again, fun little tool. I hope that you use this. I hope that you play with this because it's really going to be helpful in your career search in the end. All right, before I get into the Career Center, which is probably the one that you will be using aside from the jobs, this will probably be where you're spending most of your time in Handshake, but any other questions that have come up so far?
No, Jeff, I don't see any questions in chat.
Excellent. So the final thing that we are going to look at is the Career Center page. And now this is where you're going to find all of the information about the goings-on at UNLV, any events that are being put on by the individual career centers. This is where you can book your appointment. We also have a resources library, which is currently being built. There's only 1 or 2 things in there right now that you'll have access to. But as we go on, this is going to be something that builds and builds and builds, and we're going to have a ton of good information in there. So please keep checking back on that. So if you click on the resources tab, yeah, right now we just have this one. This is where you can find hospitality career services on the web. The next thing that's going up, I believe, is our virtual career handbook. So you'll have a lot of interview tips and tricks, you know, how to dress professionally, what to ask, what not to ask, what your resume should look like, what your cover letter should look like, and that kind of information right at your fingertips. Again, I would still recommend, if you need that one-on-one help, to talk to somebody at the Career Center, and we're going to show you how to do that right now. And that is from the appointments tab here, or if you'd rather just go right to scheduling an appointment, you can do that. But we're going to look at this one first because this does give you the extra piece of information of showing you upcoming appointments and past appointments that you've already had. But if you just want to schedule a new one, you click here, and now you're going to have a couple of options. As hospitality students, you have the ability to book an appointment with somebody in the Hospitality Career Center. Maggie, I'll let you get into the details as to, you know, the virtual versus the in-person at the end of the presentation if you wish. But I know that, you know, it's still in flux as to how appointments will be working for the fall semester, I believe. Or if you'd rather just get one-on-one help with me, I've set up this Handshake help appointment. We'll book for about half an hour. We'll do a screen share. If you have a specific question or something's really troubling you and you can't, you know, you've hit a wall in Handshake and you need help navigating parts of the system, by all means, feel free to reach out and book this kind of appointment with me. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to say that most of you are probably going to be booking one of your appointments this way. And now this is going to know that I'm an undergraduate student, so it's going to give me the undergraduate options. You can see undergraduate career services here, and undergraduate interview prep and mock interview information here. If you were a graduate student, you would see graduate student categories. If you were alumni, you would see alumni categories. So it's separated out that way. So when I click on this, it's going to show me who is available and when. So right now, couple of spots open on Friday, but no, I'm not ready to meet on Friday. Let's meet next Wednesday and see what's open. So we've got a handful of appointments open here. Ashley, I'm going to book this one with you. And now I have the option, or a few options here. I can say, well, maybe I don't want a phone call. Maybe I'd rather do the virtual appointment, like a Zoom meeting or a Google Chat or Google Hangout type meeting. So I'd rather do that. What can we help you with? My resume stinks, please advise. And now you have a couple of additional questions that they ask you to fill out here. Reason for the appointment, review the resume. Requested that appointment, sure. It's going to ask for your email address so that we can connect with you, so that we can give you the information that you need to connect to the appointment, and anything else that will help your career coach prepare for the appointment. This is where you could type in, like if you're having resume help, you know, I don't know what's I need formatting help, or I've submitted this to 5 different companies. I haven't gotten a call back. Can you take a look? Maybe I've done something wrong, whatever the case may be. And now I hit request. So now this brings me to this page. This is the appointment page for me. And let's say, oh, you know, I forgot to add something to the appointment. So I'm going to add that in there as well. And now Ashley's going to get notified not only that I've requested an appointment with her, but that I've also made a comment, or I've made an update to this appointment as well. So she'll be able to see that information. She has this same page in front of her where she can add a comment here, and I would get a notification saying, oh, Ashley's updated your appointment with this comment, check it out, and etc. If I needed to cancel, if I booked it for the wrong reason, I can do that here. Otherwise, as soon as Ashley goes in and clicks approve, you'll get that notification saying that the appointment has been approved. And if you're using Rebel Mail or a Gmail type account, it will automatically populate that onto your calendar as well, or it should anyway. And you can see that I have the information about the appointment here. And now I'm good to go. I just need to wait for Ashley to approve that. Whoops. I'm going to play with that in just a minute if there's a little bit of extra time.
We did have one question, Jeff.
Oh, sure, please.
Back in reference to applications, is it possible for users to keep track of applications such as the application status?
So application status, are they talking about when they're applying to jobs, what they would be able to see?
Yes. Once they've applied for a position, is there a way for them to track the status of their application?
Yes. So not only can you track the status of the application, because the people within Handshake will be able to say where the application is in the process. If you have, say, 100 applications on here, it will say the status as part of that. And again, without having an application in here, I can't show you that screen, unfortunately. But you can actually filter down, so you would only be able to see those that are in, say, pending status, or only those that are in, what was one of the other ones here? Alternate status or primary status or reviewed. So you would know that these applications are the ones that have actually been looked at and they're waiting for a decision, as opposed to the ones that are pending. But yeah, you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to see by status and sort by and filter by status as well. Yeah, it's a good question. I hadn't gotten that one before, but yes, that is definitely an ability in here. One other quick thing about the Career Center is when you are on the main page, you'll see some information about UNLV itself. You'll see some of the career centers down here. Now, we are broken up into a handful of different career centers. If you wanted to click on the hospitality one, you would get the staff list. You'd get a little bit of information here. If this career center were running other events, you would see that information listed here. And like this event today would be listed on this page here. And then you would get some more information about the system itself. And for the students, you have your information listed here. So this is one way that you can keep in touch with the Career Center. And you can see here, we have some other upcoming events. Now, these are being posted by all of the career centers or the main career center, whatever the case may be. And you can see You can come in, kind of look at this event. You can see the list of people who have RSVP'd for this event. And if you wanted to, you can just hit RSVP. And now you're in the event as well, and you'll get the information as soon as it becomes available for you. See, this event is hosted on Google Meet, link provided with RSVP. If this were on campus, you would get the actual address here. Or if this were off campus and it was being hosted at one of the companies that were coming in to have this kind of event, you would see that here as well. Because this is being run by one of the career centers, we're doing everything virtual, so we have that information here. If you didn't necessarily want to RSVP, but you wanted to follow the event, you could hit this star, so that way you would know that this is something you're keeping track of. Maybe it's one that you want to register for later once you get some more information. You can save that as well. If you needed to add a comment, if you wanted to ask a question, you could do that through here. And if you wanted to share the event, you can do it right from the page and share it by Facebook, by LinkedIn, or by Twitter. So a lot of good ways that you can get information about these events right from the Career Center page. And you can see the staff list as well if you need to reach out and contact somebody. My information's here. I think my email address is on here. It is. Ashley or Maggie, if you wouldn't mind dropping my email address in the chat box, that would be helpful. If you have questions about Handshake itself, if you don't know that it's worthy of an appointment, or you'd rather just ask a quick one-off question, please, by all means, feel free to reach out. I am happy to answer questions that pop up at any time. I'll take the rest of the time that we have here today, which is a couple of minutes, if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But for the most part, if you need to reach out later on by email, please feel free to do that. I don't care how minute the question is. Please ask the question. If something goes wrong, please let me know. Again, we just launched this sucker about 2 weeks ago. So if something comes up that gets a little weird, by all means, come in and, ask the question. I promise you nothing is too small. So that was all I had planned for you. So any other questions, comments, concerns, by all means, Maggie, let me know what's up.
Does anybody have any last questions for Jeff for today? It doesn't look like we have any more questions, Jeff, so we'll move it to our final slide of the day. Thank you all again so much for attending. It was great to kind of see you. We look forward to all being back in Hospitality Hall together. But of course, in the interim, please, you know how to find us and feel welcome to call or email. The phone number is on the screen, as well as the Boughner Career Services at UNLV.edu email address. As Jeff was saying, you can book an appointment with the center via Handshake. Now, while we're still in the early adoption stages for the platform, you can also reach out to us by email to arrange your appointment, especially if you're still digging into Handshake and getting accustomed to it. But the appointments you see in Handshake represent our skill development and our career readiness program. So that would refer to resume review, interview skills, networking, your LinkedIn accounts. If you're looking for support in terms of internships, HMD 455, work experience, or CPT, OPT, please email us or call us directly. There is no appointment necessary to answer those questions or assist you with processing. So on behalf of Jeff, Ashley, and myself, again, thank you for joining us. Please follow us on social media at UNLV Hospitality, especially the college's LinkedIn account. We're encouraging our students and alumni to go there, to join, and to help us create a more interactive community of our hospitality rebels. And of course, if you do not follow our email distribution link, you can find that on our homepage to register. And most importantly, we will continue sending job and internship opportunities through the email distribution list, again, while we're making the full conversion to Handshake. And probably the biggest thing that's going to be hitting that email towards the end of the month is going to be your instructions if you are interested to participate in the Fall Hospitality Mentor Program. So as Ashley said, we have some new things in store there, and we're really excited. Does anybody have any final questions before we wrap for today? Okay, well, thank you so much all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.